Today I'm going to talk about a somewhat controversial topic, and that is the death of Dale Earnhardt Sr. So as you can see, in the 2001 Daytona 500, Sterling Marlin got into Dale Earnhardt a little bit, which sent Earnhardt's car down to the apron, and then up into the turn 4 wall. And sadly, he died of a basilar skull fracture. And today I'm going to explain how Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s death actually improved NASCAR. After Sr.'s death, NASCAR knew that some serious changes had to be done. The Hans device was invented, which kept the driver's head from snapping forward in the whiplash, so he can prevent the whiplash effect. And as you can see in this photo, the steel and foam energy reduction or safer barriers immediately replaced the hard concrete walls around the tracks. If the safer barriers weren't there, then we would have had a lot more fatalities, without the Hans device. Without the Hans device, we'd have plenty more driver fatalities. Prime example, Austin Terrio. Let's watch that again in slow motion. Look at the way that the truck nosed into the wall. Tremendous crash. Look at the tires. They're off the ground. Sparks flying. I have never seen the front nose of a car or truck pushed back so bad that it pushed the wheel, off of its bearing. Let's watch it again and look at the front nose of Terrio's truck very closely. And Austin Terrio was actually knocked out in this crash. You can see it right there through his window. He was knocked out cold during this crash. But thankfully, he had on his head and neck support. And you may have noticed that there wasn't a safer barrier. It was a concrete wall. However, had Terrio not have had his Hans device, he probably would not be around today. Another example of this is Eric McClure's tremendous crash at Talladega. He had to be cut from his car. Terrio was able to be pulled out of the window net. McClure had to be cut from his car. And he had his Hans device on, and there was a safer barrier, but he was still sent to hospital. And this warranted a red flag as well. Watch McClure's car, the number 14, red and blue. Look at how hard he hit, and look at the way that the safer barrier gives. Concrete walls do not do that. Safer barriers actually give. They absorb some of the impact so that the driver doesn't get hurt. And as we all know, Eric McClure did end up getting hurt. But had he not had his Hans device, and had there not been a safer barrier there, he probably would have died. Another example of this, Miguel Paludo. He carried so much speed heading into the wall that I don't think that he was able to slow the truck down. Look at it in slow motion. Even in slow motion, you can still tell that the truck did not even slow down going into the wall. And all 4 tires came off the ground. Luckily for us, he was okay. This is why Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s death was an important moment in NASCAR. And this is why it actually improved it. It didn't improve it in the ratings, but it definitely improved in the safety. Because had Earnhardt not have died, we would not have the Hans device. We would not have safer barriers. We would have had more and more driver fatalities. I'm going to look at one more example. Eric Almirola. This is a more well-known hard hit. His car went up in the air. Look at how badly torn up those cars are. You're gonna watch Eric Almirola. Right side of your screen. Come in. There he is. This actually injured him. This injured his back. And he was okay. Now this has nothing to do with the safer barrier, but it has to do with the Hans device. Had he not had a Hans device, he probably would have died, along with Danica Patrick, because she also took a tremendous hit. Into the wall. And don't even get me started on her crash in the duel, which I will look at for a bonus example. Green car. There she is, spinning to the inside, just like Miguel Paludo's wreck. Just like it. She did not lose any speed going into the wall. In slow motion, doesn't even look like she even used the brakes. And she was okay. But again, tremendous crash with Hans device and safer barrier. Had she not had a Hans device, and had there not been a safer barrier, she would have died. Thank you guys for sitting through my explanation. That's it from me. Peace.